Hi all curious minds. Today's video is going to be some kind of stand-up like video, and the story behind of it is I had the pleasure to meet my new colleagues this week, and they asked me, well, Zoe, you have plenty of experience in cybersecurity. Can you tell us some juicy horror story about your experience or anything like that? I say I'm not an expert in cybersecurity, and if you have seen thousands of servers and their logs with security incidents, how different hundreds of different companies, maintaining these servers and millions of websites that being under attack every day, then you wouldn't call yourself a security expert as well, because what I have learned that I don't know almost anything. There are always the concepts are changing, there are trends that appear and went down, and everything is just vulnerable. So my story is like, imagine you're using a web solution for browsing, watching content, or just look up something. You trust that site like every day, and after day, it doesn't load. This was the beginning of one of my favorite stories. So back in the days, I was working on the BitNinja Linux agent, and I'm still proud of my work that I've done there. We helped many companies and businesses all around the world to make their business more secure. And we had a call, we had a support ticket, and it was like, this BitNinja agent sucks. We tried many security solutions, but there were never ever a problem. But when I start the BitNinja agent, my site is going down, and it won't, load. No cost. We tried many options, but it just don't load. And I was, no. The agent will not interfere with your connection. There must be something else going on. And they was like, no, it's just the agent. When we stop it, the site goes down. The agent has many features, including a web application firewall, and I checked. They not even tried out the web application firewall, so that wasn't the issue. So I checked the other solutions that is available in the agent. They didn't use the malware detection nor anything more sophisticated detection and prevention functionalities in the agent. So there was only the IP reputation, and I was, this can be. With BitNinja, the agent will not just stop incoming attacks, but it will prevent the server to communicate with so it will intercept the outgoing connection to malicious IP addresses as well. And I was, okay, wait a sec. Could I have access to the server, and maybe I have the experience and I will check on the site. So it was like, after a little digging, I found out there are almost, not almost, I made a cleanup and I cleaned the site from 20,000 malwares from a single WordPress site. Yeah, you heard it. It was 20,000 malware on a single WordPress site. And the problem was like when a visitor visited the website, the PHP script behind of the screen tried to send information out about the visitor to a remote server, which was on the BitNinja's black or gray list, some of the blocking list. And this is, I think, a very horrific story, because who knows? I could visit any site and maybe there are plenty of malwares inside it, and still they can, leak my personal information. So just to have a look. If you are not familiar with PHP, then this is going to be a bit new for you. So this is an online tool called Evolve, yeah, where you can try out your PHP scripts in your browser. And there are in PHP there are super globals that contains information about your requests, your server information, and anything like that. So on this site, I just var dump is like dump out the content of the variable, and the content of the server informations is like the home path, request time, and everything like this. I can dump out the request that I try to send to the server. This can be like the get request or the past requests as well. I can even dump out the environment variables and even the cookies that are present in my HTTP request. So this is a very concerning aspect. I'm not against PHP because the PHP binary environment is not vulnerable. The applications that are not maintained and don't follow security best practices are vulnerable. So this is a bit, distraction. So I just added a few lines of PHP code, and here I will get a bunch of information about just visiting this site. Obviously, this service has a PHP configuration that limit my access, and it's also in a virtual environment where what I can do is limited. So I will not going to abuse their service. So let's continue. Okay, I try to move this. Yeah. So, like I said, this is a stand-up like video. So this is the original PHP code, but let's have a look. So let's continue this security horror story. So I can, try to find an exploit on a server that runs PHP, and what is the shortest PHP backdoor malware. You may call it anything. In my previous video about Brazil got Adidas, well, yeah, I already mentioned that this is the shortest PHP based backdoor malware, or anything you want to call it. So I only need to inject this little short code on the remote side, and basically I'm going to have the user access who is assigned to that website, and I can do anything on the server that infected with my little code. You probably won't try to use this code because this signature is, on almost every malware detection solution for Linux, but still it was the same malware detection solution available on the server, and it was still infected. So why was it infected? And the reason why this is, this is just one signature, but I can do something like this, and I can, append another character, and this will still be a valid backdoor and still infecting. So I can still use this. Or what if I just change the letter, and this is still the same malware, and it's still I can still use it, and I can use a bunch of other techniques. And this was the original problem, but the system administrators on the server side had a look before me on the web server and in the PHP scripts available on the server, and they saw nothing. And the reason why is the hackers used a very trivial solution to trick the system administrators. On Linux, when you try to access, get the content of a site, of a script or something like that, you're probably going to use Vim or Nano or something like this. And on the Linux terminal, you have 80 columns and 24 rows, big screen, if I recall it correctly. That's the default configuration. But what if I just use a bunch of spaces? Eventually, this script will get out of the readable space that a typical user would, read, and will not notice that the first row of the malware is injected. They will see a typical PHP code on their screen, and yeah. And the injection was there. So, what was the solution for this? I had to write a little script that found all the occurrence of this long first line, and it cleaned 20,000 malwares. it was insane. So yeah, this is a security horror story that probably I can share with you, and this is why security matters for me. But in the descriptions I will share with you 2 other stories. There are 2 videos. One is if you can, listen, if you understand Hungarian, then you may enjoy this video. Many of my friends are Hungarian, so this is why I'm sharing this video with you. It's from Szabolcs Csermák. He is an ethical hacker that I had the opportunity to work together, and he has a YouTube channel as well called Diary of how could I translate it to English? Yeah, Diary of Ethical Hacker. So, Diary of a Hacker. So, egy hacker naplója. The 2 videos I will share with you is one about blind XSS. Yeah, it's very funny to see how easily this kind of vulnerability can cause very interesting vulnerabilities and opportunities to hackers. And the other one is about an interview about bug bounty reward. That was how can I say it? It was the reward for I need to look up his name. Yeah, so sorry, David. Schütz David. He is a Hungarian ethical hacker. It's very interesting concept to see this how so the security horror stories. There are many out there, and you may not even notice this kind of issues as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned about how easily someone could, steal information about you, and how easy this can affect everybody's life. And yeah, see you next time. Bye.